I don't know what I was expecting from Gladiator 2, but it certainly wasn't a 2.5 hour snooze fest masquerading as a blockbuster. This movie was not just bad, it was a colossal waste of time and money. First of all, the plot was a lazy, watered-down rehash of the original Gladiator. It's as if the writers thought, hey, let's just copy-paste the same story, sprinkle in some generic revenge nonsense, and hope no one notices. Well, I noticed. The story was predictable from start to finish, with zero surprises, zero emotional investment, and zero logic. The characters? Forgettable. Paul Mescal's protagonist had all the charisma of a wet sock, and the supporting cast didn't fare much better. Even Denzel Washington, as much as I love him, felt wasted here. His scenes were few and far between, and they couldn't save this disaster. And don't get me started on the pacing. Oh my God! The pacing. The movie dragged on endlessly with long, drawn-out scenes that added absolutely nothing to the story. I checked my watch so many times, I'm surprised I didn't break it. As for the action, what action? The fight scenes were generic and uninspired, lacking the intensity and raw power that made the original film a classic. The CGI was painfully obvious, and some of the big moments, like sharks in the Colosseum, were so ridiculous they made me laugh out loud, in a good way. Finally, the soundtrack tried so hard to mimic the iconic score from the first movie, but ended up sounding like a cheap knockoff. Instead of being moved, I felt annoyed. I went into Gladiator 2 hoping for an epic, emotional spectacle. What I got was a boring, overlong and lifeless attempt to cash in on nostalgia. I left the theatre feeling cheated, frustrated, and, frankly, angry that I spent my hard-earned money on this garbage. Do yourself a favour, skip this one, rewatch the original Gladiator instead. At least it won't make you regret being alive for those 150 minutes. 1 star, and that's being generous.